Got him. Man, that gill ate it. Alright, good little eater there. Hey guys, Zach Draskovic here. Today, I'm going to show you how to catch bluegill on the bed, and it is so much fun. If you haven't done it before, you need to get out there and try it. I have a bunch of fish catches for you, but if you want to jump straight to how I did it, I have that at the end. Please support the channel by giving me a thumbs up and subscribe. Come on with me. Let's load the boat. Come on, get it. Come on. That's a big old shell cracker here. Got him. Oh, it's not the big one, but there we go. Nice little shell cracker. Oh, dang it, didn't record that last one. Gonna have to get some more now. Got him. Oh, he came off. There we go. Now we got him. Now we got him. Nice little gill here. If I can get him in. There we go. Thank you, Lord. Oh, there we go. There we go. I had some people asking about some shell cracker. They're here. Whoop. Look for them little hard bottom areas. Rounded points. Oh, man, I don't know. Got him. There we go. Little one. It's alright. We'll take them. Take them all. Bluegill. Thank you, Lord. Oh. Yep. Oh my goodness. Alright, cutest fish award. Thank you, Lord. There we go. Got him. What I got? Oh, nice brim again. Look at that bluegill. That's a chunk there. Chunk and a half. Woof. Nice fish. Thank you, Lord. Got him. Oh, little guy. Got wrapped up in some grass. Come on. There we go. Yeah. Thank you, Lord. Come on, fish. Come on, fish. Get out that grass. There. All tangled up there. There we go. That big old brim. That I'm talking about. Boom. Make it low. There we go, gilly. Thank you, Lord. Go. Little tank. This is too much fun here. Thank you, Lord. There we go. Oh, it's a little guy. They all count though. Thank you, Lord. Got him. Come on, fish, get out of that. Get out of that. Go. Thank you, Lord. Got it. Thank you, Lord. Got him. Chunk. If you wanted to eat them, this is the right size. All right, how I caught the fish today was pretty simple, and if you've watched my creek fishing and crappie fishing videos, it's the same way I've been doing it all year. All I'm doing is setting up two little jig heads in a little double rig, and just throwing it out there, and I'm doing little shake. I don't know if you've seen pro bass fishing lately, all their live scope, and they do some of the same thing, these little shakes. And what that little shake does, one, it gives the bait a little action, but two, it keeps you in contact with your bait, so you can feel those really light bites. If something picks it up, you'll be able to feel it right away. That's another benefit of doing that little gentle shake that you see me doing. The jig heads that I'm using is very important. If you go to Walmart and you get a crappie jig head, this is what you're gonna get, and that is really too big of a hook for most bluegill. Yeah, you can catch some bluegill with a hook like that, but you're gonna miss a lot of fish, because most of the bluegill and their subspecies have a small mouth, unless you're talking about warmouth or green sunfish. So this hook is gonna be too big. What I'm gonna use typically is one of these little Euro tackle tungsten heads. You can see that's a significantly smaller hook, and it's also lighter wire, so that you'll get better hook penetration. But really, mostly what I use when I'm specifically targeting bluegill is going to be one of these little guys right here. This is a little tungsten ice jig, and you can see, even compared to the Euro tackle jig head, it is tiny, and that is important when you're dealing with bluegill and their smaller mouths. You want to be able to allow them to inhale it and get a good hookup with it. Sometimes even with these ones here, the Euro tackle ones, that hook is going to be too big unless they're a very large bluegill. So what I'm using is Euro tackle has these little tiny microplastics you can put on. This is a crazy critter by them, but a lot of times I'm not even using a full plastic. What I'm doing is I'm getting something like one of these little Bobby Garland shads, and it feels wrong to do this, guys, but all I'm doing is I'm getting the tail, taking the tail off, sacrificing this little guy, and just threading that tail end on. So now I have a little tiny bait, just like a tiny little minnow, fry, or different colors can make it look like a leech or something. But a lot of times I'm just using a piece of a plastic, and you can do this with anything. You can do it. You can go, if you like throwing crappie, these little crappie magnets for bluegill and crappie, and you can just go rip off one of these little arms, and you have yourself a good little bluegill sized plastic. One of my favorite little baits to throw for these bigger bluegills is the Euro tackle Anisoptera. It's a mouthful, but these little bugs look really good, and their tail has a lot of action in the water. Very natural, very good bug looking presentation, and these things look, and they catch fish great, right? But if you throw one of these little ice jigs, that's a significantly smaller presentation and a smaller hook, and you can catch a lot more fish. You'll have a lot better hookup ratio. And one of the reasons I like throwing these guys on a double rig is because they're small, they're lightweight, they're a little bit more difficult to cast. So the double rig will allow you to get a little bit more weight to your presentation, and allow you to cast a little bit farther, so you don't have to get too close to the beds. If you get too close to these beds, I mean, these brim are a little bit easier to catch than maybe a spawning bass, but still, if you get right on top of these guys, they're going to be a lot harder to catch than casting far away. You can see I had a good lineup on a couple of beds, and I was slinging that thing, and they're hitting just about as soon as it hit the water. It was just almost every cast for a while there. And if you want to know how to find these beds, I'll put a link up above. These beds are going to be in the same kind of areas year to year, but if you've never found beds before, what you're going to look for is flatter, hard bottom areas. Briefly, you know what I covered my where panfish spawn video. Basically, you get where bass spawn if you're a bass fisherman, minus a foot. That's where the bluegill are going to be. These biggest beds are going to be in flatter, hard bottom points. You're going to want to look for like a flat, rounded point. You don't want too much current going over your area, and you'll find brim. What you're going to look for, if you can see down into the water good, you'll see a perfect little honeycomb, little pattern set up. But sometimes, you know, if they're a little bit deeper or if the water's a little bit off color, you might just see little light patches in the water on the bottom, and that's what you're going to be casting at, especially on when the brim are just making their beds, they're just starting to spawn. You'll just see kind of like a little milky area when you're going down the bank looking for them. So if you see a spot that all of a sudden you have a little milky looking area, a small little circular muddy area, that's a set of bluegill that are just making their beds, and it'd be a great opportunity for you to catch them before anyone else can get at them. But that's it. It's very simple to catch these fish. The most important thing is to just make sure that you're downsizing your hooks and your baits a little bit. I know it feels wrong to tear off little pieces of plastics, but you know, you're not necessarily ruining your bait. You're just modifying it to make it smaller for your fish that you're targeting. That's something that I learned bass fishing a long time ago. Just because you had a 4-inch worms, if you have 6-inch worms, you're not necessarily out. You can always shorten the plastic. You can't make it bigger, but you can shorten them as small as you need, and it's a great way to put some extra fish in your boat. I hope you learned something today. Please subscribe and follow these tips, use these lures, and I'm confident that you will load the boat.